Howdy folks, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Maddfuzzy Podcast. This is a podcast all about knitting and spinning and creating our homesteading life here in Knox, Maine, where I live with my handsome man, his wonderful mother, and our two amazing dogs. I am Marta. I am your sock-obsessed host, as well as the creator and dyer behind Maddfuzzy Yarns, which you can find a link to our Etsy shop down in the description bar. Also down there, you can find complete show notes for this episode. You can find me on social media. I am most active on Instagram, and you can find me as @Maddfuzzy. And you can also feel free to email any questions or comments to our email address, which is maddfuzzy@gmail.com. And we also have a Ravelry group, which is the Maddfuzzy Podcast group. It's quite a fun little group, and we just finished up our first cal, so I do have prize winners today. Well, prize winner today. So I'll announce that in a moment. But yeah, if you're interested in any of this, please do subscribe to this channel. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's really great to be sitting down and talking to you again. It has been a little bit, but better late than never, right? So on today's episode, I have several finished objects. I have several works in progress, one of which is actually a half-finished object. I do have a hoe, and it is a hoe you have never seen. I have some Maddfuzzy update, as well as a shop update. I'll show you what's going to be in the shop on Friday's update. I will do another Friday update. That will be April 28th, and that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'll tell you more about that when we get to the Maddfuzzy update. And then at the end, I'll tell you all about what's going on in my life if I have time. So we'll get right into this. So I had an ongoing cal, which we were running for the last couple of months. And it was the Pod People cal, which encouraged you all to knit things that were using a podcaster's product. So yarn, bags, stitch markers, patterns, and support our other podcasters out there, as well as learn about some new and exciting podcasters. So I went ahead and had Number Generator pick a winner, and it was number 16. So that happened to be Lady Wing Designs. So congratulations, Lady Wing Designs. You are the winner of the Pod People cal. And she did a wonderful pair of socks that were the I Love You More Than Pumpkin Spice socks. And she used an adorable pumpkin progress keeper from the Cabinet of Curios, which is the Etsy shop for the Anxious Knitter podcast, which is Joy. And Joy has not put out a new episode recently, but she is such a literally bundle of joy and a wonderful podcast. So if you're, wanting to go back and watch a few of her episodes, or you're familiar with her, hopefully she does put out an episode pretty soon here. That was a great podcast. So if you're out there, Joy, we do enjoy your podcast, and thank you so much. Lady Wing Designs for entering in the Pod People cal, and I am so excited you're our winner. So please email me or PM me on Ravelry, and I'll have your prize package going right out to you. Awesome. Yeah. So that's our first cal, and I think I'm going to have a little break on the cals. I'm putting one together. I'm thinking of things, but I think I'm going to wait maybe another episode. So next week, or next... It's never a week. Next episode, I will announce a new cal for us all to get involved in. So I'm putting it together. Don't you worry. But let's jump right into my knitting, shall we? Like I said, I have a few finished objects. So my first finished object is these socks, which were the online sock yarn that I had purchased just as a commercial sock to tide me over. And oh my goodness, white dog hair everywhere. That's the beauty of having a white shepherd. So these are going to be a gift sock for a friend of mine. I just did a really simple 4x2 rib on the top of the sock, my heel flap and gusset with a standard heel turn and a wedge toe on the end there. So these are finished, and I made them extra long. They go almost all the way to the top of my sock blockers. I do have a finished set. I am so happy. And she is going to be happy because I told her she could have them as soon as I recorded the podcast. So she's getting them today. I bet she's happy. So the next finished object, and I just had, it fell over here, is my mini sock for hashtag Memory Sock Garland. If you're new to the podcast, I am going to be blocking this, of course, and doing a little garland of all the mini socks behind my head when we do eventually move into our house, and that whole upstairs up there becomes my studio. So I'll have a regular place to record a podcast, and I will have a little garland of memory socks, of all the socks and all the yarn that I did. I did the ribbing on the front of it to truly remember how I did the sock. So there's the little mini sock. Somebody in our Ravelry group posted a finished object, and it had a mini sock in it. So, yay! Welcome aboard. Thanks for hopping on the train. This is gonna be lots of fun. So there's my mini sock and my finished object. My next finished object, oh yeah, I've been a busy girl. My next finished object is these socks, which are the Resfeber. I will put the name down there again because there are just too many constants in it. I just can't put those together. But it is a sock pattern by the Knitting Expat. She has 2 sock clubs going on right now. I have purchased both of them, and I'm doing them because they alternate month in when they come out. So this is my Preppy Handbook colorway. I have a brown contrasting heel, cuff, and toe on these. And I am just absolutely in love with these socks. Yeah, and they are done. They're going to go probably for sample socks for Maddfuzzy. Maybe for me. There's the other one. I have been thinking a lot about German short row heels. And I know in recent episodes I have talked about how I was trying to fix them. I had asked for suggestions. I have literally talked to every person who says, oh yeah, I knit socks. I'm like, do you know about the German short row heel? And I then spent an entire day, an entire work day, made a playlist of German short row heel and tutorials and just had them going all day so I could absorb how they are really constructed by many people and getting different perspectives. And through this research, I have come to the conclusion that this may just be a crap heel. And that Ellie and Nina from the Knitting Expat are doing this crap heel wrong, and so it is actually extra terrible. And the reason behind it might also be that I'm missing a line in the pattern. I've gone over both of them and looked for it, and it's not there. Every video told me I can't stack the German short rows on top of each other. And the only way to not stack the German short rows on top of each other is to do a row of stockinette or 2 rows of stockinette. So all the videos were like, oh, you just go all the way around again in stockinette and then do your second half of your heel. Now this doesn't work for something like this because then I would have had, a brown stripe through the bridge. I wanted that contrasting heel. And so they had left that out of their pattern. So then I looked at other videos in which you could, instead of, what you do in theirs is you knit 2 German short rows, turn your work, and make a German short row. And that actually lines them up on top of each other. And the videos I watched said you could either, purl back and then do it and just go back and forth instead of going all the way around, or you could slip it and not make another one. I tried both methods. I tried a lot of methods, and it is better. Don't get me wrong. It is still gappy, terribly gappy, awful gappy. And I would say it is me and my tension, except for this. And I think I'm just going to have to do the Fish Lips Kiss heel like it was a German short row heel and just sub it into the pattern because I'm going to insert a picture right here. So that is the sample photo for this sock pattern club that includes these German short row heels. And there's my problem right there in the photo. That's what my heels look like. And there are too many heel options out there for me to keep monkeying around with this German short row heel. I'm going to do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and this, of course, is my opinion that the German short row heel is not a good heel. It is going to have holes, and I've heard it from so many people, and even you guys replied, oh, it's going to have holes, and people, oh, it just has holes. So I'm accepting that it's just going to have holes, and it's just not going to be the heel for me. However, if you disagree with this statement, please message me. I swear, I've been thinking about nothing but heel construction for the last 2 weeks. Please message me and let me know that I am wrong and how I am wrong. But that's kind of where I sit at this moment as far as my heel construction. I'm just giving up. I'm done. Buy German short row heels. There has got to be something better out there. So I think there is. It's called the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So we're going to start that all over again. So stay tuned. The heel saga continues because you can't just knit a sock the same way every time. There's too many options out there. It's exciting and new and wonderful. So back to a point that was a huge tangent on German short row heels, but that's how I feel at this moment very strongly about them. And a finished object. Huzzah! So that is my last finished object. I know, 2 whole pairs of socks and a mini sock. I'm doing pretty good, but the fun doesn't stop there. Let me put this on the sock blocker here because it's exciting. So remember back a little ways ago when I showed you that gorgeous skein from Gynx yarn, that graffiti colorway? Well, I did not have a vanilla sock on the needles. I needed a vanilla sock on the needles, so I pulled that one out of my stash. And here it is. This is the first one. Another extremely long cuff. I mean, why not? I always have yarn left over. I love high socks. So a nice long sock. Another heel flap and gusset, because I can do those in my sleep. There's that. I just love this colorway. Here's an up close. So what it's got is this like wonderful marled color, and then the gray and the black. It reminds me of like, this is the pavement, the graffiti, and the rest of the wall. But I'm so happy with these socks. And that's that one. And as far as its soulmate, I have not gotten very far, just a little ways into the ribbing, but it's my on-the-go sock, so I always find time to work on it. As far as another work in progress, I have not lost steam on my Transcendence socks. I am slowly still working on them. Here's the first one. This is a pattern by Ellie of Skeindeer Knits, who I am absolutely obsessed with. And yeah, I'm trying to do a repeat every night, and I think I'm improving. I definitely think I'm improving. So this is Maddfuzzy yarn, my yarn. I dyed these Transcendence sock kits, and thought I'd knit one up myself. So there's that. Oh, and I completely forgot I had another finished object. I actually did finish those Selbu mitts for my mother for her birthday and sent them off. And they blocked beautifully. They were perfect. So I'm just going to insert a photo right here. Of these mittens. So those. Yeah, they were absolutely beautiful. They fit her perfectly. And I already have plans for my next set. So those will be cast on very soon. And yeah, I'll show you about those and kind of like where I'm going next. But back to these Transcendence socks. Oh, I love these socks. I love this pattern. It's so much fun. It's so much work, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. So, ticking away on those. I have a brand new cast on that you have never seen. I went to my local yarn shop the other day. I'm stopping in there all the time. My yarn's on the shelf there. I'll tell you more about that, but I stopped in, and there was this interesting sock yarn I had never seen before, and it's very interestingly dyed as well. So here's a picture of the tag. Yeah, so I have color It looks like guacamole. It's the colorway. Okay, so maybe you don't even need to. Oh well. Anyway, so this is what it looks like in the cake here. And I am doing the second installment of the Wanderlust socks by Nina Phillips. I'm just going to keep knitting that pattern. This is the yeah, again down here. She has very interesting names, and I am not a linguist. So this is a gorgeous little pattern. I just got it started. We haven't done a whole lot, but it's got some great like yarn overs and some texture. But this yarn is knitting up really fun. It's very soft. It's a merino and nylon blend. Yeah, there's that. So that's my newest work in progress. And yeah, my next thing up I'm really planning on doing. So I told you about my Selbu mittens. I'm going to knit another one, and I am going to do it out of these colors. So this is also my Old World DK, and I'm going to do it in this nice blue, purple, gray, and this bright fuchsia pink. And these are going to be for me. So that's my plans for the very near future. Yeah. Just looking at my things over here. So I was at my local yarn shop yesterday. This is a different visit than the one I got the sock yarn at. And I was dropping off a very large amount of yarn. So Heavenly Yarns in Belfast is completely stocked with Maddfuzzy. Yeah, I'll insert a picture here. So that's my yarn on the shelf. That's how much she has. I have now my own full shelf, which I'm very excited about. But while I was there hanging around the shop waiting to chat with the owner, I picked up some commercial sock yarn because I need more sock yarn. Yeah. So I picked up, these are both Yowl. I picked up both of these. This rainbow here is going to be the first installment in Nina Phillips's Cozy Club. It was this gorgeous sock with like self-striping, but then you make like a bulb on all the stripes. So that's what that one's going to be. And this one's probably going to be my next vanilla sock of choice, but it's going to be really fun. Look at how that knits up. Now, Yowl is really fun because they give you reinforcement string. Yeah, this is matched color reinforcement yarn that comes inside the ball. Yeah. How can you resist? And it's commercial yarn, so it's fairly inexpensive. So I picked myself up 2 balls, keep it going. But that is the end of my like knitty content. We're going to talk about Maddfuzzy now. That's all my works in progress, all my finished objects, all my acquisitions. So let's talk about Maddfuzzy. What have I been doing? Lots, tons of things. It was Kid Hugging Day on Sunday, which was an event that 3 goat creameries in kind of the same area do together. It was Appleton Creamery, Coppertail Farm, and Fuzzy Udder. And because I produce a yarn made from the Fuzzy Udder sheep, I thought it would be a lot of fun, and so did the owner, Jess. So I came to Kid Hugging Day and set up my own little booth and had a blast. We were like right next to the babies. There was goats running here and there. I was custom carding and spinning East Frisian right there, and lots of people were interested in the spinning. I did sell a little bit of yarn, but mostly it was just an excuse to hang out in the sunshine, which we had not seen in Maine as of that moment. So that's why I'm a little sunburned. I'm sun-kissed because I sat out in just the most gorgeous day, spinning and chatting with people and handing out business cards and doing a few sales. I wasn't too worried because I knew I was going to be going to Heavenly Yarns the next day. So I went to Heavenly Yarns yesterday, and she has a lot of stock now. So if you are in the Belfast area, yeah, she's got the goods. And I took Thursday off of work before Kid Hugging Day to dye, so I have a lot of things for my shop update. Not everything went to Kid Hugging Day and Heavenly Socks, so I do have some sock sets and some single skeins, so that will be going up in my shop. I was saying that the update is going to be Friday, April 28th at 8 p.m. That is still true. Here 20 minutes later. So I'm going to show you what I have going up in the shop. And yeah, let's take a look here. Oh, another piece of Maddfuzzy news. So I get all this yarn in cones, and I skein it all by hand, and then I dye it, and then I reskein it. And this motion of turning my skeiner has really kind of made this wrist sore. So I started looking for like a reskeiner, an electric one. And there's a company out there, Crazy Monkey Creations, is kind of like the forerunner in really nice skeining machines. And they are on a sabbatical for health reasons. So I started looking at Ravelry to find used equipment, and I found one, and it was a really good price. And I can do 6 skeins at a time. So Maddfuzzy's production is on the rise. I am mechanizing. I'm so excited to be mechanizing. Oh, that'll be so great. So that's exciting news for Maddfuzzy. So first trunk show, first large wholesale order, new skeining machine. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's see some yarn. Yeah, let's see some yarn. So going up in the shop update this week, I have, and that is over on Etsy, I will have 2 sock sets. These are the Ancient Jewels sock sets. And I should also let you know, I actually sent out some yarn to some podcasters. I sent some yarn to Squirrel Pie Productions. I sent some to Julia of the Happy Knitting Podcast. I sent some to Celeste at Yarn to Table. And I sent some to Meg at Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits. And so I had great feedback. Yeah, no, there's wonderful, wonderful people out there who they just spend time talking about my yarn, and I couldn't be more grateful, sorry microphone, for them taking the time out of their podcast to talk about me. And I am so excited to be donating to their prizes, so if you want to win Maddfuzzy, there are several opportunities. I started a Facebook group for Maddfuzzy as well. I'll put a link down in the description bar for that, but I put up their links to their YouTubes that, that has their episodes that have my yarn in it, and when you can kind of look and see like a timestamp. So yeah, check that out. But I digress yet again. So I will have 2 sock sets of Ancient Jewels, which I sent to several podcasters. So you may have seen these before on somebody else's podcast. These are Ancient Jewels. And so I have a blue one. These are both on Pretty Tough, which is my sparkle. So I have a blue and I have a purple. So both of these will be in the shop. I also have 1 sock set, like my socks, of Preppy Handbook. So if you really liked those socks, yeah, I have this sock set here. So this is also on Pretty Tough. And that is really all the sock sets I have. I dyed lots of sock sets, maybe 12, 15 different sock sets. And between Kid Hugging Day and Heavenly Socks, these are all I have left. So I can and will be dyeing many more. So stay tuned. These are not going to be the only sock sets that I'm going to have. So I also have, in my Pretty Tough base, I will have Pricked Her Finger. I will have Fall Back, which I sent to Squirrel Pie Productions as a sock set, but I love the color so much I had to dye it as a single skein as well. I also will have a new one here. This is Steel Magnolias. This is a fun new one as well. I really like this. I had some sock sets, and I will be dyeing more sock sets of this as well as single skeins. This is what I'm calling Night Moves. And it's just bright, vibrant colors. There's Night Moves. And I will have my Romanian friend, which is a fun one. And I will also have passion fruit. So there's that. Excellent. Oh, losing yarn. In my pure fuzzy base, I will have Madame. I will have Villainous. I will have a new color, Mud Season. So this is Mud Season, a nice light speckle. I will have Paris Nights. Nice purple. As well as Glacier Lake. A couple of these actually. And last but not least, I will have Wetter is Better. So yeah, not much going in there. Lots of single skeins. So again, that update will be the 28th of April at 8 p.m. So watch Instagram. I will put a reminder up probably every day until then. So yeah, that is Maddfuzzy. And the reason I am kind of plowing through this is I can see the little blinky battery light. So, getting kind of close. But that really is the end of yarn. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my life. If you care to stick around. If not, thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming in and kind of putting up with this sort of weird, stumbly episode. But, you don't always win. You're not always on the ball. Sometimes you just have to talk at a camera and accept that you know you sound like an idiot. So, thanks for bearing with me. But if you did like this overly caffeinated and somewhat disorganized podcast, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit that little thumbs up button down there. Let's get some more subscribers. I am almost to 500, and when I hit 500, there's definitely going to be some prizes. So, yeah, please do subscribe. And if you are here to hear about my life, then let's chat before this battery dies. So, what's new and exciting with me? Well, warm weather, of course, means we are back out and building on the house. We have picked up some things to get ready to go. We've got countertops now. We've got some cabinets. Those are waiting for the steps, which should be built very soon. I think maybe this weekend we'll have those front steps completed and start moving things in. We've planned out the electrical and are just waiting for our friend to come out and help us wire. So we're hoping to be in pretty soon here. The weather's kind of helping us out. And yeah, that's the house. It is also beginning to be the start of tick season. I have already been pulling the dogs, ticks off of the dogs, as well as 2 embedded ticks off of myself. So I have a doctor's appointment later this afternoon because as I say, better safe than lime, right? So I'll go there and they'll probably poke me and hopefully prescribe me some antibiotics, and I can completely avoid ever getting Lyme disease, or at least not having it affect me. I know a lot of people here in the Northeast who have had Lyme disease, including my mother-in-law, and it is not fun. It is not fun whatsoever. It is extreme tiredness and pain and flu-like symptoms. So I'm hoping to completely avoid this and get in early with a doctor. So I will probably edit this podcast and then head out to the doctor. Yeah, as far as what we are going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, spring is here, and so we've already started our plants. Betsy got us greenhouse space this year, and so instead of starting all of the seedlings on the table and not having a table for like 2 months, she rented this greenhouse space. So we did way more plants than we have ever done before. She works for Fedco Seeds, and so they had free seed day, and she picked up like pounds of beet seeds. So we've got our tomatoes and all that good stuff started already. We're hoping to have a nice big productive garden this year, and she's going to be around all year. I realized last year about this time I was worrying about our garden and how we're going to do it without her. And that's not a problem I'm going to have this year. She's going to be here the entire time to help us out and to make sure that we don't completely fail at gardening again. I may be doing less farmers markets for my job, so it'll be nice to have produce we've grown to kind of supplement that, since I definitely have beef and pork taken care of. That comes directly from the farm, but I don't have the opportunity to trade at market for produce, so it'll be nice to have a lot of stuff grown. So we're getting ready for spring. You never know. Maine's good about kicking you while you're down. If we get all excited about this, this beautiful sunshiny weather, and it could snow next week. In all honesty, we could go right back to terrible winter weather. That's just how it rolls out here. So as much as we love the spring and this gorgeous weather, it's not likely to be the end of the crap yet. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. Thanks so much for sticking around. I hope you have a wonderful week. I am very excited to see you all at the Maddfuzzy update on Friday. If you ever have any questions or anything, like I said, feel free to email me. Feel free to subscribe and like this podcast. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, enjoy your knitting.